and welcome to day 23 of Vlogmas. So it's Saturday the 23rd of December, Christmas Eve as it were. And I usually start these videos off by saying good morning because I'm usually on fairly early in the morning to start the video. But today I'm actually starting this one after lunch, so it's a bit later today. And that's because we went out this morning. We wanted to get out fairly early. We went to a local garden centre. It's our favourite Christmassy garden centre that we've been planning to go to this weekend. And we wanted to get in before the crowd. So yes, we were there pretty early and we had a look around all of the lovely Christmassy displays. And my son and daughter chose a bauble there, and we had some tea and cakes in the cafe too. So it was a nice start to the day and it was very Christmassy there. That does mean I've got two different garden centre visits to share with you in this video, because I took a little footage yesterday of our trip to see Father Christmas at a garden centre, quite a small little garden centre. And then today's trip to the garden centre, there's much more of a Christmassy garden centre. So what I thought I'd do is just include those a little bit later in the video, just as two separate pieces. So they're sort of interspersed in my chat. So that is the plan. So after that introduction, a bit of a long one, I will start off as usual by sharing what we found Elf up to when we came down this morning. So it's Elf's second to last morning with us, or he does usually hang around for Christmas, but generally he just chills once his final deed on Christmas Eve's morning is revealed. After that, it's just plain sailing for Elf. But this morning when we came down, we found he had set up quite a big banquet for the Sylvanian families, and he was sitting at the head of the table there, and lots of different Sylvanian families were joining in. He'd been quite inventive about all the chairs and tables he'd found. He'd sort of used all sorts of things, including he'd taken little seats out of the Sylvanian bus. He got a little slide that he'd put some of the, not little slide, sorry, a little seesaw that he'd put some Sylvanians in. And he'd done lots of exciting food for them. There were baby milk bottles for the babies, little plates of food, little glasses of wine or water, I don't know what, but yeah, he'd taken some care in setting up the banquet. And it looked like he himself has a sweet tooth. It doesn't surprise me because he'd put the ice creams up his end. So yes, that is how we found him this morning. And the banquet is still downhill, though it looks a bit raucous now because I think some of it's been moved around as my children have been moving around the house. So it's a bit higgledy-piggledy. It looks like everyone's been having a great time rolling about the place. So yes, that is what Elf was up to this morning. And then before I move on to what I'm wearing and some other bits I wanted to share, I thought I'd put in now our first trip to the garden centre, which is yesterday's trip, where we went to see Father Christmas. So I'll pop in a little bit of footage of that now. And then after we went to see Father Christmas yesterday, it was really nice. It's very low key, which is what my son and daughter prefer. Afterwards, we went to the cafe and the children each got to choose a present. My daughter chose a cuddly toy puppy. And my son chose chess because apparently he wanted to learn to play chess, which he hadn't mentioned before. So I'm glad he spotted that there amongst the presents and chose it. So we had a little time at the cafe, and here my husband played a game of chess because my husband knows the rules and I don't. So you might see Elf there sort of acting as referee in the chess game as well. So I'll pop that footage in and then I'll catch up with you in a moment. So yeah, see you back here in a moment. Bye. Enjoyed that little bit of footage from our trip to see Father Christmas yesterday afternoon and our cafe trip afterwards. It was a really nice afternoon. It was quite nice how they do it there, where the children can choose a present from a selection. I think my daughter is really happy with her toy sort of puppy and she's played with it lots since we got back. And my son is very pleased with his chess game. He wanted to play more when we got home. So I think I might need to start learning the rules of chess so I can have a game with him too. So yes, anyway, I'll move on now to share what I'm wearing today. And today I've got on a dress that I often wear in the summer because it's a sort of short sleeve dress, but I decided to layer it up today for winter, and I quite like how it looks actually all layered up with sort of a black top underneath. It's a woven dress. I've got on with just this black plain ready to wear top and a pair of black tights. And the pattern is this one. It's a pattern I think is really lovely. It is the fringe dress pattern by Chalk and Notch. Actually, it's a fringe dress and blouse pattern. You can make a blouse version too. It's a really lovely pattern. It's got a really good size range. It goes from US 0 to a 30. And it also comes with 2 cup options, an AB cup and a CD cup. I'll show you the line drawings. So yeah, it's a woven dress pattern, and it's got a sort of V-neck and button down front with these darts at the bottom of the bodice here, or if you're making the CD version, it's got extra darts here as well to add a bit more shaping. And one thing I really love about the fringe dress is it's got a sort of facing on the inside, but it's actually not a facing that flaps around. It's finished really nicely, so it's all sewn in, so it's a lovely finish on the inside. It's actually a facing I really like. So it's got these buttons there, and then it's got a gathered skirt and with pockets, and the skirt has this sort of dipped hem, which I think is really pretty, this curved hem. And if you make the blouse version, it's basically a shorter version, just yeah, a shorter skirt essentially to turn into blouse length. And then I really like this version here that has these sort of, you make these sleeves that are sort of longer, and then you gather them in with this tab here. I think it's a really nice detail. I think this dress has a few really nice details. And I haven't made many chalk and notch patterns. In fact, the fringe dress might be the only chalk and notch pattern I've made, and I don't know why really, because I found the instructions really, really good on this pattern. It's a really enjoyable sew. It's just one of those patterns I feel like where you can really relax and follow the instructions and know that everything's going to turn out really nicely. Just feel like you're in safe hands with it. So yeah, it's a pattern I really enjoy sewing. So yes, my version today has the little sleeve tabs, which you hope you can see there, little black buttons on, and the button down front, because there's an option for this little non-button down front and a notched sort of collar here too. I've never actually made that version. And yes, I'll stand up a bit so you can see the sort of gathered skirt bit. And as you can see, it's kind of like an empire line dress. I haven't lengthened it at all, which I often do on dresses. I quite like the fact it sits a little higher. I think it's quite a nice feature of this one. And it has got a lovely curved hem, but I'll put in a picture in a moment so you can see that, because it's hard to sort of stand up high enough for you to see that. But yes, I made it in this lovely fabric, and I was talking about this fabric I think earlier in Vlogmas. I think I was sharing it as one of my favourite fabrics that I've got from Minerva, and I was talking at that point about a different dress I've made in the dark red version of this fabric. It comes in quite a few colours. It is an Atelier Brunette double gauze, and it's got a lovely sort of flat feel to it. It's not crinkly like a lot of double gauzes, and it's just so soft and comfy to wear. And so it's black and covered in all these little cute, I think they're silver, little metallic spots that are sort of stitched on. So I remember when I was cutting this out, I had to be quite careful to make sure that the actual button placket didn't have any of these spots where I was going to make a buttonhole, because I thought that'd be really tricky to try and get a buttonhole across, to go across one of those spots. So yeah, I had to cut it out a bit carefully to avoid the spots. But yeah, I really love this fabric, and I did say to my husband, oh, am I not Christmassy enough today? But he said, oh, it kind of is Christmassy, because it sort of almost looks like little snowflakes or snowballs. So I thought, well, I'll take that. But yeah, it's a really nice one to wear, and I quite like it layered up. And I've always made the size 0, which is based on my bust measurement. And like a lot of patterns, it would seem my waist and hips would take me one size larger. But I don't think those measurements are as critical on this pattern. There's room here for me in this size, because I think it is a fairly straight fit bodice. It's not supposed to be too tight. I think there are optional waist ties added on, but I've just gone for like a more of a loose fit. Although it does feel a bit more snug on me today, because I have got a top underneath. And there's loads of room in the skirt because it's a gathered skirt. So I always think when there's a gathered skirt, the hip measurement isn't too critical if you're just a couple of sizes different on the hips. So yeah. That is what I'm wearing today. I love this fabric. I like wearing this one in the summer, and I like wearing it in the winter too. And I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. But yeah, it's quite unusual for me not to lengthen the bodice, but I actually do quite like the more empire line of this. It just has a bit of a different feel to some other dresses where I'm more cinching them in at the waist. It feels a bit more relaxed, I guess, in a way. So yeah, that is what I'm wearing today. So the next thing that I wanted to share while I was on is just a small little sewing item that arrived in the post today that I wasn't actually expecting to arrive today. I thought I'd probably be waiting till after Christmas. So I shared a couple of days ago in Vlogmas that I'd had a bit of a Minerva fabric haul, and I bought a pattern too. And the pattern I bought along with my fabric haul, I think it was my day 21 video. I'll link it up above in case you haven't seen it. The pattern I bought along with my Minerva fabric haul was this one here, the Saltwater Slip Dress by Friday Pattern Co, which is a pattern that I'd sort of been eyeing up for a while. And I spotted this fabric, this viscose fabric, that I thought would go really nicely with it. So I thought that was the time to buy it and finally try this pattern because it has been around for a while. It's this lovely slip dress pattern, and one of the features it has is you can make it with adjustable straps at the back. Which I thought was quite a cool idea. I'm sure you could make it without those adjustable straps if you wanted to, and you didn't have the sort of little the little sort of notions you needed for it. But I thought I would have a look online and buy myself some of the little, what are they called again? Lingerie strap sides and ring sets, because I thought I'd like to, you know, try the whole pattern, including the little sliding straps, and give that a go. So my little lingerie items came in the post today. I ended up getting them from eBay. I found it quite hard to find what I wanted actually. I was looking for 9.5mm strap sides and rings. In the end I got 10mm, which I figure is pretty much exactly the same, so it'll be absolutely fine. And when I was looking actually, from lots of places, you had to order loads, so like 100 of them, and then spend a bit more money for that many. And I didn't really want to order that many because I wasn't really sure if I'd be using many at all. I'm not sure I'm going to go into bra making. I might do it at some point, but I didn't want to sort of buy loads more than I needed. So I ended up sort of spending maybe a bit more per item because I only got a set of just one set. And it was obviously a bit more per item than it would have been to get a huge quantity of them, but I sort of didn't really want to get loads more than I needed. So I thought I'd pay a teensy bit more per item just to get one set rather than spending even more but getting absolutely loads, if that makes sense. Anyway, it came from somewhere called the Little Sewing Shop, just that I found on eBay. And here they are. So they look quite cute and fun to have a go of. And I got them in black because my fabric had a black base, so I think they'll go nicely. So yeah, I'm looking forward to giving them a try and seeing how they work out. It will be quite nice to have adjustable straps actually, particularly I think on a slip dress where I'm not sure exactly how high or low I'd want it to sit. And I guess maybe actually I might want to change it if I was, say, wearing it with a t-shirt or wearing it with nothing underneath. I might want to maybe mix up the length of it, so it'll be quite nice to have that flexibility. So yeah, I was happy they arrived in the post today, so I thought I'd share those. And the next thing I wanted to share is something that happened earlier today, and it made me smile because I thought that's quite a coincidence on the timing. So yes, in my yesterday's video, my day 22 video, I was sharing a few of my favourite knitted cats and dogs that I've knitted over the years, using some of Sue Stratford's Knitted Cats and Dogs and Knitted Cats and Kittens books. And then funnily enough, this morning I got a text from my mum, and she was at the library and she sent me a picture, this picture here, and she said, "I've spotted this book in the library, would you like me to get it out for you?" And I didn't even realise this book existed actually, so it is another Sue Stratford book, which is Knitted Dogs and Puppies. So yes, I've already knitted some animals from Knitted Cats and Kittens and Knitted Cats and Dogs, and there is some overlap between those books, but each book has some new patterns in them. So I said yes please to my mum, so I'm looking forward to having a look at this book over Christmas. I think it'll have some new dogs in there that I haven't seen before. Even looking at the front cover I could spot a couple that didn't look familiar. So yeah, I thought that was quite funny timing given I was just sharing some of my favourites yesterday. So you may well in the new year see a few more knitted dogs on here, because I'm sure once my children have a leaf through that book they'll be finding a couple of new ones for me to add to the list to make. So yeah, I thought I'd share that as well. And then I have got a new project that I actually just started on a whim yesterday to share. So what I'll do is, I think I'll share that in a moment, but I'll put in now some footage of our trip to the very Christmassy garden centre earlier today. It's one, yeah, we always love to visit at Christmas, and we always try to make it there before Christmas, and my children each choose a new bauble to go on the tree. And they have a little hunt around the store where you can find reindeers, which is quite a lot of fun. So yeah, it's just a nice place to visit around Christmas really, and they do have some really pretty Christmassy displays. So I took a few photos and videos from there too. So I'll pop them in now and then I'll see you again in a moment. So yeah, see you back here again in a moment. Bye. that little bit of footage of our trip to our favourite Christmassy local garden centre. We do try and make a visit there before Christmas every year, so it's kind of like a trip down memory lane as well as a sort of festive trip. One of my favourite bits there is the train table, the little train that chugs around. I remember when my son was tiny, him sort of being absolutely transfixed by the train, and he still really enjoys seeing it now. So yeah, it does bring back some happy memories there, and we did feel nice and festive after our visit this morning. But yes, I think that's probably us done for garden centres before Christmas now, having done 2 in 2 days, but it has been a really nice couple of days visiting them. But yes, the next thing that I wanted to share is a project that I started last night on a bit of a whim. So last night my husband went to the pub with a few of his friends, so I had the house to myself once my children had gone to bed. And I did a bit of wrapping of presents which I wanted to get done, but then I had a bit more time and I thought I'd start cutting out a little project for my daughter. And actually I decided to make her a little Boxy zip pouch like this one I made for myself that I shared yesterday. What I thought actually is it'll be perfect for toy storage, and I've got some particular toys in mind of my daughter's that are quite small. She's got a little collection of these little Disney characters, and they're at the moment in this pink pot, but they're sort of almost spilling out of it. So I thought this would be the perfect way to sort of carry them around. And she does often like to take them out and about with her. They're quite a nice size to be able to pop in the backpack and take out, and for her to get out and play with. So yeah, I thought it'd be fun to make her one of these, only in some more fabrics that are more up her street. So that is what I started doing. So I've cut out all the pieces. So I decided to go for, I had a look at my fabric suitcase in my quilting cottons folder. I decided to go for this for the outer sort of pot pink colour, and I've already applied the interfacing there. So it's not, I've used more of this nice squishy interfacing. And then for the inside, I've gone for this very pretty quilting cotton white sort of fabric with these cute little unicorns and rainbows on. And I used this originally to make my daughter's quilt, and I think I used this to make my daughter's quilt. So this actually matched quite nicely with my daughter's quilt. I think I over-ordered on the fat quarter, so I've ended up with quite a few left. So it's quite nice actually to be able to use them on other projects. So yes, I've got the little tab somewhere. Oh, here they are. I've also sort of cut out the little tabs. This is you make one long tab and then you cut it into smaller tabs, and I'm going to use those for the ends. I did think about using this fabric for the tabs, but I thought let's keep it nice and simple on the outside. And also I thought if it's taking out and about in the bag a lot, maybe the white's a bit more likely to show up the dirt than the pink, so I thought I'd keep the outside all pink. So yeah, I haven't got very far than the cutting out really. I haven't done any sewing yet, but I'm looking forward to making another one. And I'm hoping this one will be a little less fiddly because this fabric's a bit finer, and some of it did get a bit tricky with the bulky corduroy. But yeah, hopefully my daughter will be quite pleased with that, and it'll be a nice way to carry about her little Disney characters if we're going out and about. So yeah, I was pleased to start that as another little sewing project. And then in terms of my plans for the rest of the day, well, the plan is to have quite a relaxed afternoon at home. As you'll have seen over the last few days on my Vlogmas, we have been quite busy dashing here and there doing various Christmassy things. So I think we're all looking forward to having a bit more of a relaxed time in the house this afternoon. And we have got a few things planned. We're planning to clear a bit of space downstairs when we have guests over Christmas. Also, my husband wants to make some brandy butter. That's one of his favourites. I think he might get the children to help with him with some of the weighing and measuring. I think he also wants to wrap a few presents, and he'd like the children to help him with that. So who knows, I might actually have the chance to get my sewing machine out and do a bit of sneaky sewing while they're all busy getting on with those Christmassy tasks. So keep your fingers crossed for me there. And then I think later in the afternoon, we're going to all watch a family film together. I think the choice is Arthur Christmas, which is one we all really like. It's one we quite enjoy watching every year, really. So yeah, that is the plan for a little bit later, to get nice and Christmassy and cosy as we watch that film. So yes, I think I'll probably finish off this video here now, and then I'll be back on again tomorrow for the last day of Vlogmas, Christmas Eve, day 24. I can't believe it's come around so fast, but I am feeling nice and festive now, and Vlogmas has definitely helped with that, and I hope you are too. So yes, thank you for joining me for another day, and I'll look forward to seeing you for the final day tomorrow. So yes, there'll be lots of Christmassy chat tomorrow. I'll be talking about what I'm thinking of wearing on Christmas Day from a handmade wardrobe, and other things I've got to share too. So I'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, day 24. But in the meantime, I hope you have a good rest of Christmas Eve, and yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye.